Hey guys, Todd James back at you again. Uh, just wanted to come on here and respond to some questions I've had. Uh, it's one of the most common questions I get talking about projections for income. And there are a couple of, I'm using the word projection here pretty loosely. You see YouTube videos, TikTok videos all the time where it's like, how I made $1 million a month, or how I made $1,000 a day, or how I made, a gazillion dollars a year. It doesn't matter. They're throwing some pretty substantial numbers out there. And it's interesting to me from a psychological standpoint that you'll see the same content creator put out different numbers on different videos, but talking about the same exact scenario. And I'm not making any accusation here that something is being done improperly. I think probably why they're doing that is, if I tell you that you can make $30,000 a month, some of you will go, is that all? And others will say, well, that's ridiculous. This guy's lying. How much is enough and how much is too much is really in the eye of the beholder. And if you're out there, slaving away for minimum wage, hopefully you're not, but if you are, or, let's say you're making $10 an hour, that's still pretty much slaving away. But someone comes along and they tell you that you can make $100,000 a month. That might be too good to be true in your eyes. That might be more than you can accept as being even remotely possible. So you discount that individual who told you that without really looking into it any further. And you may or may not be right to discount that individual. I can't speak to whoever it is you're watching that's throwing these numbers out, but you're wrong to think that the number itself is what's wrong with the scenario. When you're selling something online, whether you're selling, a digital product like a course or some type of informational product, whether you're selling some type of consumer good, a hard physical product, or whether you're just putting out content and you hope that, something goes viral. Until you have a product go viral, so to speak, for lack of a better term, the potential of the internet may be lost on you, no matter how long you've been using the internet or how many hours a day you spend on the internet. Until you sell something or until you get a massive amount of feedback, you may not realize how extensive your reach is, or potentially your reach could be. So, if you're a content creator and you're out there making videos that get 500 views or maybe 1,000 views, and you're wondering how Mr. Beast does it, then all of a sudden you post a video that you think is probably the worst video you've ever made, and you check it a couple days later and it's got 150,000 views on it, and it's going up at about 1,000 views an hour. Now you know what the internet can do. When something catches fire, it catches fire in a major way. So translate all of that to the potential for income. And here are the numbers I'm going to use, and I'm going to give you some historical perspective on this. As someone who's been involved with coaching and consulting now for going on 30 years, the numbers have remained fairly stable in terms of what people say they have to make. But going back to the 1990s, if you were a day trader, stock day trader, currency day trader, what have you, but if you're a day trader, the number was always $1,000 a day. And even now, 30 years later, people who are involved in that type of endeavor are still looking, that's their baseline, they're still looking to make $1,000 a day on average. So, that's $365,000 a year. That puts you in the U.S., that puts you in the top 5% of earners. And it's a good number. Now, it may not be a good number if you live in Manhattan. You might be scraping by on that in Manhattan. But if you live outside of San Francisco, Manhattan, Miami, and maybe Los Angeles, $365 a year goes a long way. You're not hurting. You're in pretty good shape. But when you bring the potential here for e-commerce, social media, what have you, into the equation, you really change things quite a bit. The numbers get higher, not lower. So, very baseline, I consider an income of $10,000 a month as being an entry-level wage. And the reason I say that is $10,000 a month, that's only $120,000 a year. That's less than what we were just talking about. But again, in most parts of the country, $120,000 a year puts you firmly into the middle class. You can live comfortably on that much money almost anywhere in the United States. But there's a danger to that number as well. And the danger is that number affords you the opportunity to go into debt. It allows you to go out here and buy a nicer car than what you would have had previously. It allows you to eat out more often. And in this case, by eating out, I'm really saying waste more money more often. It allows you to afford some of the nicer things in life in most cases. But with that comes this desire to continue to continue chasing that pursuit. Now that you've made a little bit of money, you've tasted some success, probably forefront in your thinking is that you don't want to ever go back to where you were. So then we look at the next level up. And in my opinion, this is the level that you should shoot for as a minimum, and that's $30,000 a month. So now we're back to the $1,000 a day number. At $30,000 a month, you can bump everything I said about the $10,000 a month lifestyle. You can bump it up a little bit more. Now, if you want, an Italian car that has horses on the hood, you can probably afford one if you watch yourself. It allows you to take better vacations and just do more interesting things and just have a little more lavish lifestyle. That should be entry level. If you're tapping into a world market for your product, your service, your information, you shouldn't accept a whole lot less than that. And if you do, you're selling yourself short. Again, for someone who's out here and you're stocking shelves at a grocery store, or I don't know, you're driving a bus, you're working in a coffee shop, to hear someone talk about making $30,000 a month, you may think I'm just completely out of my mind, and other people are as well. But we're not. We're just trying to get you to think about numbers in a way that reflects the potential of putting yourself out there, taking some risk, and really, you should view this video as me encouraging you not to sell yourself short. $30,000 a month should be your entry-level target. It doesn't mean you'll make that the first month, but it does mean that you shouldn't give up on that goal until you've given it everything you've got, until you have pursued whatever venture it is that you're involved in to its logical conclusion. You should perfect what you're doing, improve your process, improve your product, improve your service, and just keep climbing up towards that goal. And $30,000 a month is a very obtainable goal. So then we start getting into even bigger numbers. And when you're dealing with e-commerce, like for me, it's Amazon. As you know, if you watch this channel, you hit $1 million a year in sales. You're looking, with the appropriate model, you're looking at somewhere between, $150,000 to maybe as much as $400,000 in actual profit. Again, depending on what it is you're selling and the model that you're using in terms of your Amazon business. Are you retail arbitrage? Are you online arbitrage? Wholesale? So on and so forth. You know, there are other models that you can utilize when you're working with Amazon. But so you know, $1 million in sales gets you way up there, gets you way towards your goal. When you start hitting $1 million in sales on Amazon, you realize that 2 million is really not that far away. And when you hit 2 million, you realize again that 5 million is not that far away. And then 5 million, you realize that 10 million isn't that far away, until the numbers just get so big that they stop making sense. You just get to a point where money almost just isn't real anymore, because you know that you can make that money fairly easily. And by easily, I mean it's a lot easier than digging ditches. And it's a lot easier than dealing with the public and being a barista or working at Walmart. It's a place where you can utilize your talents, utilize the skills as you develop those skills to make more and more money. You're not looking for hours to make more money. You're not begging for raises to make more money. You realize that you're now in control of your life. So there's so many ways I can come at this same question. I've tried to answer this question before for people. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything, get anybody headed down the wrong path, but there are things you can do in life that when you really hit your stride, you can make so much money so fast and so consistently that again it just starts to lose meaning for you. And it's not about trading hours for money, time away from your family for money. You can start making rules for yourself as opposed to having someone else make rules for you. You can take control of your life back, and that is probably the greatest rich of all, or the greatest wealth of all, is having control of your own time and your own destiny. But with that said, this video was about numbers. I hope you found this useful. If you have, how about hitting like and subscribe? Save this video, watch it later. Watch it every day until it sinks in, because you're selling yourself short if you don't take a chance, if you don't reach for that opportunity when it presents itself to you. So with that said, have a great day. Again, hit like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.